Welcome to Echoes from the Mountain, Creative Sparks, the podcast where we explore the incredible power of hobbies and crafts and the natural world to nurture our mental health. I'm your host, Loraine from Gracious Mountain Therapies, and I believe that the passions that we pursue outside of our daily routines can be our strongest allies in finding joy, building resilience, and weathering life's storms. Today, we have Ben with us, and Ben is going to talk to us about his hobbies. So, Ben, tell us about the hobby that you're really passionate about.
Well, my main hobby is really birdwatching and walking. I find since I discovered it, that's helped with my mind and my body. It's done revelations for me. It's the learning aspect of what is that sound? Where is it? It's the mystery of what you're going to discover and what you're going to learn, and then you're always seeking out this. If you discover a favourite sound of a certain bird, you want to keep hearing it, and then you go looking for it, and then you go to different places and you hear different sounds, and it's the unknown for me, and it gives me an excitement. It helps distract me from normal day-to-day running life.
What made you go into actual bird watching? Was there something that inspired you?
I've always been into nature, but I've never really took the plunge to learn and act on it. It's just in recent times, since I've suffered with anxiety or mental health, it's helped me feel better, and it gives me a different insight into life, and just makes me really a feeling, a buzz.
How do you go about it? Do you go and listen to bird noises and then go back and research? Or do you research first and then go out and see if you can hear those birds?
Funny enough, with today's technology, as I'm out and about and I think, oh, what's that noise? I've got an app on my phone,
okay,
which can you record the sound, and that'll tell you the most likelihood what type of bird it is. So that's how I've been learning, as I've been going walking and going to different places. And today's technology is amazing. It just helps you along to learn and discover new things.
Can I ask what the name of the app is?
It's called BirdNet, and that's one of the apps I've got. And also I've got another app called Merlin.
So did somebody else tell you about it? Are you part of a club?
No, I discovered it by researching, because I do, when I find the new bird, I do research about it and what part of the country they're in, and if they migrate from Africa, etc. I've got an array of books when I get home, but for example, about 3 weeks ago, I was out on a walk on my own, and in a location near to where I live. I was just walking along, and I come to this piece of ground, which is an open area of fenland, and I saw this, and I discovered it was rare. It's the common crane, which is quite rare in this country now. There's only like a couple hundred pairs, I'm made to believe, which I discovered as I was just out on my walk, and I was amazed. I was there, I looked at my phone with today's technology, I memorised what it looked like, and I had an idea what it was, and yeah, I just researched.
Do you take photographs as well, if you get chance?
If I get a chance, yes. I haven't got a camera. I do use my phone, if I can get in near enough. But yeah, it's just also visualization of memory. I can memorize what it looked like, and I'll just look.
So when you find something like this grey or the common crane,
yeah,
Do you then sort of let people know, or
No,
tell
I
people?
don't know, because at the end of the day, you don't, as they're quite a rare bird in this country, you don't want people coming there trying to watch and disturb its breeding habit. In my mind, you just want them just to do well on that patch, and you don't want an influxes of people coming in trying to spot it. I'm one of those people that if I see it, I just keep it to myself, record it, and I'll just carry on.
So when you record it, do you record that in a book, or?
I've got a book which I've had since 2019, and every year I just record the special birds what mean the most to me the first time I see them for the year, like migrational birds like the cuckoo, the swallow, the chiff-chaff. They're just little examples of the birds that what I record, and I'll just write down first time I've heard it this year on a certain date, certain time, and I just write it down in a list, and I do that from year to year to year, every year. So springtime's my most exciting time of the year. That's when it all gets exciting, and I get out as much as I can and discover.
So have you got favourite places you like to go?
Yes, I've got certain favourite places. I go to probably about a handful of places, which I get to see and hear my favourite birds I want to hear. But I'm also open, as I've got older, open to seeing and discovering new things, because it just helps with my journey on, feeling good. And
So do you go on your own, or do you sometimes go with other people?
I tend to go on my own more so these days, because I just find it more relaxing for me personally. That's only personal preference, because other people go in pairs or with friends or family, but I used to go with my father-in-law, but he, with work commitments now and how his life is, we tend to do it separately.
You said earlier it really helped you, or helps your mental health. In what way do you think it helps your mental health?
I believe with my mental health, it distracts me from inner thoughts, and it just helps me, and it makes me feel good. With anxiety, which I suffer with, it takes me away from them feelings and thoughts and overthinking. It just makes me feel really good. Just walking, exercise, the excitement, the unknown. Are you going to hear it? Are you going to see it? It's the excitement.
So is it just the birds that you're looking for, or is it any type of nature whilst you're out walking?
Any birds in general, but any type of nature I love. It brings me joy and happiness at the end of the day, and makes me feel good. For me, walking is a good form of exercise as well. So it's two things that come in hand, walking and exercise, and then plus it helps with my mental health with discovering nature and bird watching. So
if somebody is listening that is really suffering with their mental health, what advice would you give them about walking and going out into nature?
My advice to anyone who wants to feel better and use nature is take it up. Do what I did. Just give it a go, and you'll find it and discover yourself that the joy it brings, the sounds, the unknown, just try it. Just getting out there in nature and the fresh air, exercising. For me, it brings all this joy and distraction, and it helps so much.
When you first started, was it just a few minutes that you would walk for, or would it be for a lot longer?
I would say I'd be out as long as I could, just because it helps distract my mind. Yeah, an hour, a couple hours. Yeah, it could be an afternoon.
Any tips for anybody? Any sort of equipment they should take with them, or
Just a good pair of binoculars, and the apps. The app helped me so much. Either BirdNet or Merlin. And if you think, oh, that's exciting, what is that sound? You use your phone. Embrace technology. That's my advice. And it's like an addiction. It gets you hooked in. And you think, right, oh look, oh that's this bird. Then you'll get home and you'll record it and you'll research it, and then you'll think, Christ, I want to hear that again. Or then you'll hear something new on your next journey, and it all starts there. It all becomes a bit of an addiction in a way. For me, discovering and just seeing, hearing new things all the time. It certainly made me feel better.
how often do you go out bird watching?
I try to go out once a week, but life doesn't always allow me with work and other commitments. Doesn't always allow me to get out once a week, but I always try and get out once a week or even two to have a walk, clear the head, and just try and discover and keep the joy and happiness within my body, and it keeps me distracted and keeps me happy.
I know you said that you prefer to go walking and bird watching on your own. Are there clubs out there that people could join if they wanted to be more of a part of a community?
Me personally, I haven't discovered that. There is clubs, believe there is clubs out there, but for me, I haven't been out there to discover the possibility of joining a club. I've spoken to people as you go on your journeys and walks on nature reserves. You get chatting to people, and that's another good aspect for your mental health. You're interacting with people. If you tend to be isolated or you don't interact with a lot of other people, it helps you get out there and interact and talking to people who have got the same interests. I've spoken to loads of different kinds of people, different personalities, and it's amazing how you can share a common interest, and then you can form like not a friendship, but because you might see him 2 weeks time, then you'll say, oh, nice to see you again. What you discovered in the past couple of weeks? What have you seen? Is there anything new on the reserve? It forms a sort of an association with that person. Yeah, it's just nice to socialise.
So do you often see the same people out on the reserves?
Sometimes, yeah, it all depends what time of the day you go. People do have the same routines and when they go, but with me, with having to work, my work pattern is different sometimes, so I get to go when I get the opportunity. So, but I have seen on certain reserves the same person quite often, so it all depends really. It's a variation of when you get to see the same people, but it's nice to meet new people anyway and to interact. It's exciting because they might say to you, oh, I heard this bird, and then if I haven't ever heard of it, I'll go home and I'll look at it up and research, and I think, oh, next time I'll try and go out there and hear it or see it. So
The social side of it.
Yeah.
So just to finish off, obviously you had some advice for people, but is there anything else that you'd like to say to people that are suffering a little bit?
My advice to anyone is you need to talk. I been suffering without realising for a lot of years, and if it weren't for my family pushing me to seek help and talk and begin to recognise, I don't know where I'd be. So my advice to anyone is seek help. Always seek help and talk. Having a good person to talk to and help you move forward is the best thing, in my opinion, you can do.
I think it's really good advice, being able to talk, because there's a lot of guys out there that hide things inside themselves.
I was one of those guys. I think I've encountered a lot of men and women as well. They bottle it all up and they think, oh, that'll be all right. Yeah, I'll put it back in the back of the mind, and they'll just carry on. But it's like a ticking time bomb, mental health. You keep putting it in the back of your mind, or it builds up and it builds up. And like with myself, I just crashed, and that's when I sought help. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me, to crash and make me realise I needed help. Yeah, if there's any men out there, seek help. My advice, it's not big or clever to keep putting it to the back of your mind, because it affects not just you, your family.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to think, in my opinion, just not of yourself, as your family as well. There's a lot of men out there that always pushes things out, under the rug, and yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, it's hard to say, really.
Yeah, no, I know, and it's a difficult one. Thank you very much for being so open and telling us all about your bird watching.
Yeah, no, that's
Twitching.
fine. Twitching, yes. No, that's if anyone out there has got a slight interest in nature, go for it, do it. It helps with the mind. It does with me. And if it helps one person out of 100, it's great.
Yeah.
It's out there. It doesn't cost you anything to go out and walk and just listen. It's amazing for me. It's nature. It's Mother Nature. It's what we've got on this earth, and people have got to appreciate it more, in my opinion. It does the world a good for your mental health. I just say, get out there, listen, embrace it all, and get moving as well. Get
Brilliant.
there, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you to Ben for sharing his passion of bird watching with us. I have to say that after our chat, I downloaded both the Merlin and BirdNet apps, both of which, by the way, are free apps. I then sat in the garden early in the morning and put on the Merlin app, and was thrilled when the normal bird songs that I hear now have become songs from barn swallows, European wrens, and the goldfinch. So thank you, Ben. I now know some of the birds that are singing to me each morning. If you have a hobby, a passion for the outdoors, or a simple love for crafting that has helped you through a tough time, I really would love to hear from you. Your experience could be the beacon of hope someone else needs to hear. You can reach out to me via email at echoes@graciousmountain.co.uk, or find us on social media at Echoes from the Mountain or Gracious Mountain Therapies. Or why not visit the website on www.graciousmountain.co.uk. Thank you for listening, and I hope you will join me again for another episode of Echoes from the Mountain. Till next time, take care. Remember, you are not alone on this journey of discovery. We are all finding our way.